It's a bird. It's a plane. It's an alien. No, it's who? Iron Man. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, today I'm going to tell you about something that has never been successfully done in world history before. I choose my words carefully. Today we are going to talk about something called the Marvel Continuous Universe, or MCU. Now I can almost hear you thinking, surely this guy has lost his marbles for sure now. Why are we supposed to care about movies in the first place, and why about movies that have superheroes and unrealistic storylines and action and mindless storylines and connections? Well, trust me. What are we? 5? Trust me, there are reasons to care. Whether you like superheroes or not, whether you like action movies or not, the MCU is something that you need to take notice of. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, in my childhood, that was too long ago now, unfortunately, comics were the realm of nerds and geeks. We all knew about Archie comics, right? Many of us have read them. We all knew about Superman. We all knew about Star Trek, because those were the popular pop culture icons at that point in time. Beyond that, pretty much nobody knew anything. I had some vague recollection of what Marvel is, what DC is, who Batman is, who Spider-Man is, but like almost everyone else, I pretended not to care. Well, that all changed in 2008, when a little movie called Iron Man was put into cinemas. It proved the starting point of the boldest experiment in human arts history. How? Consider this. These storylines draw from science fiction, from mythology, from folklore. They have all sorts of characters: a mutant, a genetically enhanced human being, a human being who is enhanced through machines, a green giant, and there's Black Widow, about whom I'm not sure what her superpower is, but okay, she's a superhero too. Nevertheless, someone at Marvel decided that they need to make a continuous series of movies drawing from all these characters. They gathered a bunch of virtually unknown actors, virtually unknown directors, and 10 years later, we have got 19 movies of the Marvel Continuous Universe, and each one is more successful than the last. Despite the fact that there are 3 or 4 Marvel movies every year, the audience doesn't seem to tire of them. What's the magic formula? It began with 3 actors named Chris Evans, Chris Hemsworth, Chris Pratt. Virtually unknown TV actors, and they were enrolled into the MCU as respectively Captain America, Thor, and Star-Lord. And look where they are today. Billions of dollars were made, and what's more, MCU successfully transformed the world's pop culture. I choose my words carefully. Look at this list. Top 10 top grossing movies of all time. In 2008, that would have been movies like Gone with the Wind, Titanic, or maybe the Godfather series. Today, out of these top 10 movies, 7 are science fiction or fantasy movies. One, the Harry Potter one, is a fantasy movie. For some reason, Titanic still belongs on this list. And the only other odd person out is Furious 7. The world's culture has changed. It has caused cinematic paradigm shift. Sequels didn't used to work. Have you ever heard of someone writing 19 successful consecutive novels? Have you ever heard of a singer who had 19 consecutive hits? Have you ever heard of someone who made money for 19 consecutive years? No. And yet, Marvel's disparate cast of characters and directors has done that. And the money rolls in. This is a list of all the Marvel movies so far, what they cost to make and how much they earned. We all know that Infinity War recently became the 4th highest grossing movie of all time and crossed the $2 billion mark. But did you know that these movies in total cost $3.6 billion? And so far, they've earned a total of $16.8 billion. So that's a return of almost 5 times. Where else have you had this kind of return? Very few examples. More importantly, it's caused an intellectual paradigm shift. Before 2008, superheroes weren't mentioned in polite company. The intellectual types were used to discussing alternative Latvian cinema of the 60s, or the Sergei Bubka's Magenta phase movies from the 70s, something like that. The mainstream was not considered fashionable. Action movies were not considered fashionable. Nobody thought that action movies could have character, dialogue, and humor. And yet, here we are today. If you see, the reception of Marvel's all movies, with a few variations, has been almost uniformly great. And that, my friends, no other artist in history has ever achieved. As we stand here today, whether you like superheroes or not, whether you like movies or not, Marvel is continuing. Marvel continues to make movies, Marvel continues to rake in cash, and the MCU continues to continue. And trust me, the world is a better place for it. Toastmasters.